In this video, I'm going to tell you all about a very special plant. It is the Fritillaria, otherwise known as the snakehead flower. Now, this is the snakehead flower. I bought this from a supermarket, funnily enough, £5. I think that's great value because it stays in the garden and grows more and more. It is an herbaceous perennial, meaning it dies down and then regrows back again. And it's in a form of a bulb. There's little bulbs in these pots, and that's where the energy for the flower to grow. So it comes up during the springtime, very early on in the season, and has these quite spectacular flowers. The foliage itself is grass-like, quite dainty, and a little bit squeaky, I suppose. Yeah, a little bit rubbery, the leaves themselves, but a lovely lime green colour. But it's the pattern of the flower that is really unusual. It's almost reptilian in its shape. I think the word is tessellated, a repeat pattern of, I suppose it does look like reptile skin or little checkerboards around the outside, and the shape of the head as well, and having reptile-like patterns on it. That's where it gets the name snake's head, because it looks like little snake's head growing just at the tip of the grass-like foliage. Incredibly interesting. And it's the detail of the flower that is so beautiful. I think the word is fascination. When you look at something and you forget about everything else and you're lost with the intricate detail of what you're looking at. Here I'm looking at the flower head, but it could be just as easily the first snowdrop to come out in the middle of winter, or even a little bit of a spider's web caught in the dew. You know, those little tiny things of nature where the detail really uplifts the heart and nourishes the soul. And that's what this flower has here. Now, the flower itself, horticulturally or botanically, is a little bit different, because normally with flowers you have what are known as sepals, which are almost like, it's the encapsulation of the bud. You know, it's green. If you think of a rose or something similar, you have a green colour, and then when they fall back, then you get the petals underneath. So these are sepals, and then the flower obviously has petals. But these are combined. So they're not sepals or petals, they're tepals. And that's the beauty. You see, there's another bud. Look at that. Just coming through there, and another one, and another one, and another one. So for what is £5 from the shops, it's an incredibly gifted plant for its many blooms. And this is just the first year, because you leave them in the ground. And of course, like many bulbs, they reproduce to become more and more as they grow. It's not a very big plant, and there are other varieties of Fritillaria that can grow bigger. This can grow anything, depending on what you get, between 10 centimetres and half a metre, depending on its age and where it's growing. It prefers a sunnier position. You'll get the best out of it in a sunny position, but it will tolerate a semi or a partial shaded area. It's not too fussy about its soil, but like all bulbs, it doesn't like to sit in water, but it wants to make sure there's plenty of moisture around so it can recharge the bulb at the end of its growing cycle. So it flowers during the springtime and then dies down afterwards, and then of course comes up the following year, and it's pretty pest free really, and incredibly low maintenance. You wait for it to die down and you can remove the dead foliage and put it in the compost heap, and the bulb remains nice and tight underneath the ground. Like all bulbs, it's usually best to feed whilst it's growing and whilst you've got the foliage, so it's taking energy down. And the best feed to use is a liquid feed, something similar to that, as it's growing. And it's great for design. You can have this in a little front border, by the side of a pond or a stream, or even in a container outside the back door. The flexibility is there. And what it brings to the design is texture and structure and detailed interest at the same time. It's part of a big family. There are taller ones, which are crown imperials, Fritillaria Imperialis, and they grow pretty big. This is the more wild version. You can actually grow it in little grassland areas as well, if you fancy. And I think the nodding head and the gentle movement of the foliage in the wind is quite enchanting. And if you just take a look into the flower itself, there's the detail. I mean, they're best bought. You can either buy them in bulbs from garden centres and plant them out yourself, or buy them pre-grown in containers like this one is here. So they're easy to get hold of, not very expensive, and the detail is the beauty. If you do buy them in bulb packets, normally with bulbs you plant them 2.5 times the height of the bulb. With a Fritillaria it's 4 times, so it needs to be down a little deeper. And then when it's in there, it'll stay and just keep growing and producing more and more. As far as propagation is concerned, you can collect some of the seed. It's not that easy. It's a lot better buying good quality large bulbs in autumn, or pre-grown ones like I've picked up here, to add to your collection. And it's quite maintenance free when it's in the ground. Don't need to do any pruning. It's pretty good against pest and disease. It's a very good performer. It's a type of plant you leave in and it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. Right, time to put this in its new home. Now, this border in summer is absolutely packed with activity. There's some salvias there growing in, but the dahlias are coming, they've been earthed up over the back, so they're growing up. We've got lavenders, we've got artichokes, there are roses. There's a lot happening during summer, but at this time of year, as you can see, it's quite dormant, apart from a few things wakening up, including these here. These are allium bulbs that send up these beautiful lollipop globes. The bees love them, bright purple, all the way through this border here. And I thought I'd put something in to give it a bit of colour early on while it's still, you know, getting itself quite established. The one thing to remember is if you've got an area where you like to plant these underneath trees or in and amongst grass, they're always better to plant in 3s, 5s, 7s or 9s, so it becomes a natural clump. In fact, there you go, the offer on this one here was £5 each or 3 for £12, so it's still alluding to this multiple purchase, not just for discounts but also for visual effect. So I'm going to pop this into the garden here and introduce it to its new home. So the secret is always to plant it to the same level it is in the pot. So I've dug the hole, little squeeze of the bottom. Oh, it's coming straight out, look at that. There we go. Now, I've deliberately not watered this one to show you the effect. If you don't water, see how dry that compost is? If you were to put that into the ground and then not water, the plant will go through a bit of stress whilst waiting for the next rainfall. So the secret is to sit it into a bucket of water and wait till the bubbles stop coming from the surface. And that way you know it's properly hydrated. And that's what I'm going to do with this one. Making sure every plant you put into the ground is well watered before it goes in, that helps give it a good start. Now, as I said, if you've got a wider space, planting them in 3s, 5s, 7s and 9s, but this is quite a tight area here, so I'm only putting in 1. Your fingers right in there. Make sure there's no air pockets. There we go. Another new plant for the border. If you like this video, please give it a dirty thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more great plant profiles. I've also got a TV show on YouTube called A Year in My Garden, packed with great inspirational ideas for you to enjoy in your own garden. And also, if you turn on your notifications, I'll let you know when a brand new video comes up. Thanks for watching.